Cast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today's national webinar, Photography for Realtors and How to Sell Homes Faster and for More Money with Better Real Estate Photography. Allison James Estates and Homes is a nationwide brokerage which offers 100% commission, 100% support, and zero franchise fees. Why split your commission if you don't need to? You earned it all, so shouldn't you keep it all? Our goal at Allison James is to always give back to our agents by providing education, training sessions, live webinars, live events, and full broker support with the most up-to-date tools and technology available. Before we begin, we are proud to announce that Allison James Estates and Homes has recently partnered with the #1 lead generation, CRM, and automation system, KV Core. We are thrilled to provide this amazing product at a low cost to all of our agents. Signing up for KV Core outside of Allison James would cost over $500 a month, but we are proud to provide this product at a deeply discounted rate. For more information about Allison James Estates and Homes, please contact us directly at joinus@ajicorporate.com. I would now like to introduce our speakers, Austin Becker and Dave Andre from Pic Tours, who will be hosting today's webinar. Please submit any questions into the questions box on your GoToWebinar panel, or if you're joining us live on Facebook, go ahead and put your questions in the comment box there as well. At the end of the presentation, we will have a live Q&A session. With that being said, I will now like to pass it over to our guests. Good morning, Austin and Dave.
Morning, Tori.
Good morning, Tori.
We're happy to have you. Austin, I did just share presenter with you, so you can go ahead and share your screen.
Perfect. Let's try this here. Awesome.
Perfect.
Hopefully that loads okay. Awesome. So my name is Austin Becker. I'm Director of Marketing for Pic Tours. Also joining me is Dave. He's our Director of Photography. Definitely brought him on for all of his brains, knowledge, and certainly experience in the photography world. Today we're going to be talking about why you can't afford iPhone photography. How we mean by that is, and the why we're talking about this is we're talking about a little bit the selling psychology. Now, this kind of sounds silly. Maybe we're talking about, or we're talking to a bunch of professional salesmen, of course. But why we bring this up is in selling, the biggest idea is giving ownership. When you decide you want to go buy a car, you go to the car dealership, the car salesman gives you the keys, right? And gives you the keys so you can get in the car. Of course, you want to make sure that there's nothing wrong with the transmission or the car doesn't blow up on you or shake when you're going 80 miles an hour down the road. But the biggest thing is the car salesman wants you to do is he wants you to sit in the car, get behind the wheel, feel a soft seat, grab the steering wheel, and he wants you to feel yourself in that car. And he wants you to feel yourself and realize, like, this could be me. I'm driving this to work, going for a joyride with the family, whatever it is, long family road trips, whatever your car rides entail. And he gives you ownership of that so you can see yourself and you sell yourself on that idea. The same exact approach goes when we talk about selling a home as well. We don't want to just put photos on the internet or the MLS, which we put photos on the MLS, then which in turn turns into Zillow and Realtor.com and all these other websites that pull photos from the MLS. We don't want to put photos on there that simply just blah, show a home. And so that's what we're talking about, is why that this is so important, how this can help sell your home faster, how it can help sell your home for more money. What sells your listing more than anything else? When people spend time looking at listings or looking for homes, they spend 20% of the time reading an agent's description, reading a listing's description, looking up different things about where it is on a map, the school district, things like that. But when people look for homes, they spend 60% of their time, most of their time, looking at photos. And so we're talking about, right, we're talking about, okay, so here's in the MLS, you have this entire database of a bunch of different listings, all homes with a lot of information. And your competitor's listing's right here. Your listing you're trying to sell is right there, and then you have another competitor's listing right there. And there's just a massive database of all these different homes. So what sells your home over the one right above it and right below it, literally within an inch on a screen? And that's what we believe at Quick Pic Tours, that biggest thing is the photography. That's what agents and potential buyers or homeowners are looking at, is those photos. That's why it's so important that we have great photography that captures, obviously, individuals. I believe the statistic is you have about 20 seconds to capture your audience. With great photos, we actually get another 20 seconds, and then from there on. And that's the idea, is if we can keep potential prospects looking at your home longer, that's going to help you sell your home, sell your listing for faster. So I'm going to turn the time over to Dave here for a little bit. He's going to talk about some of the differences, some of the benefits, techniques, and technology that really touch and accelerate professional photography over taking photos with your iPhone. Dave?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here. I am Dave Andrade, the Director of Photography for Quick Pic Tours. And just want to take a quick minute here and describe the importance of having professional photography versus doing it on your own. Now, what's interesting is most of us have a some type of smartphone, either an iPhone, Android device, something that actually has a pretty high quality camera inside your phone itself. And super convenient. Anywhere we go, we can take pictures, and I'm really surprised at how well the pictures turn out. I've actually had real estate agents ask me before in the past about, the advantages of using, a larger camera versus using, like their cell phone. And there's a couple things to take into consideration. Yes, it's cheaper to to use your own phone, but as the old saying goes, you get what you pay for. And in this case, if you're not paying for anything, you're not going to get high quality photography. And let's talk really briefly about that. Now, even though there are cameras inside your iPhone or inside your smartphone that are fantastic and take fantastic pictures, they may not be at the right focal length. And what I mean by focal length is you need to have wide angle photography, something that shoots corner to corner so that you can capture everything within a room. Most smartphones do not have that. The other disadvantage to using your smartphone to take pictures of home is that the sensor size on your smartphone is really small. And so the quality of the image isn't nearly as good as a camera that has a larger sensor size. So at Quick Pic Tours, all of our photographers use cameras with larger sensors, and each photographer also uses a wide angle lens. So we use professional equipment to capture the image. The real magic happens in the editing process. If we were to take the same photos captured with a smartphone and compare it to a photo that's captured with a professional camera, you'd quickly realize the advantage of having a larger camera with a larger sensor size. So it's really important. And most real estate agents, they may not know the verbiage or the lingo that is associated with professional photography. Many of you do, but when a picture looks good. You can look right at a picture and say, God, this is a fantastic picture. You can tell that a professional has taken that picture. So you're looking for something that's economic. The truth of the matter is, a real estate agent, you are out of pocket with all of your expenses before the home sells, one of which is real estate photography. And so it's hard to justify paying those higher costs. Those who already value professional photography don't bat an eye at paying the higher costs to have their home professionally photographed. One thing that's wonderful with Quick Pic Tours is we've come into the marketplace with a very low cost, so that you're not paying a ton out of pocket for this type of professional service, and that's important. So we've found that happy medium to be able to help you get fantastic photos at a fantastic price. So going back to that quality, you'll know when you look at a picture, and later in this webinar, I'll have an opportunity to actually show you some of the things that you're looking for when you're trying to identify the type of photography that you want. One thing that's fantastic with the services that we offer is we actually encourage real estate agents to use our website to help them land the listing. When you're in a listing presentation, when you can show them some of the products that we offer, use our website as a marketing tool to help you land the listing. So we'll get more into details with that, but at this time I'll go ahead and hand it back to Austin for the rest of our presentation.
Awesome, thanks, Dave. So going to share here. Did I share my screen? Oh, I don't know if I shared my screen.
Okay. I just passed it over to you.
Sorry, thanks, Tori. I was like, wait, where'd the panel go? So Dave talked about our website here at quickpictours.com. At the top here, we look for 3D tours, and this is what you'll see. It pulls up. And so what we want to talk about right now is the best technology that you're not using in real estate photography. And again, what Dave talked about with using our website as a selling point for yourself, show people one of these and they go, wow. Now, I'm sure there's some of you that may have seen these before, and I'm sorry if you've seen them, but it really kind of shocks us how many people have not seen a Matterport 3D tour or the virtual reality tour. So this is what you'll see on our website when you pull up. I wanted to show you a different house that has some more features that we can really dive into. And so this is a home we did for Stacy Achuk in Tiburon, California. And so as you can see, after the module loads here, you literally, hopefully this plays out really well. I know we're doing a screen share and it's a little delayed, but you can literally click and drag your screen and you can literally look around the entire house. The quality, especially outside and through the windows, I'm sure you guys remember when you take pictures of windows, oftentimes they blow out. There's technology to combat that helps you capture greater details. I'm sure Dave can talk about with our HDR technology that helps take care of that. But literally you can see, you can walk around, and I just moved a little too close to the plant there. But if you can see these white circles on the floor, these are all different places that our 360-degree camera has taken photos. Oh, and sometimes it moves when you don't want to, but that's okay. So we can literally, as you can see, we can walk around this couch. We're going to move down the hallway here a little bit. I want to show you guys some cool things and walk around. So we're going to walk around this way, actually. We'll just kind of go into this kitchen. It's a very unique modern home. Again, if you want, well, I mean, why would we do this, right? And it really comes down to, again, is that giving ownership. I know kitchens are a big thing for families. If they don't like the way the kitchen looks, there's no way they're buying that house. Same with the master bathroom, master bedroom. So we're going to keep moving this way. Again, hopefully this is going okay and transitioning smoothly for you guys. I'm trying to be slow so it doesn't go too crazy. But one thing
hey,
I
Austin, can I interject something too?
Yeah, please go ahead, Dave.
So one thing that's fantastic about these 3D Matterport tours and why we highly recommend them is there's places within a home that traditional photography is not going to capture. For example, you're watching Austin actually walk down the staircase. Most photography doesn't capture staircases. Other locations within a home would be like master bathroom showers. You'll often, as a photographer, when we go into, even with the wide angle lenses that we use, you'll go into a master bathroom, you'll be able to capture the vanity, parts of the shower, but to actually go into a shower and look around, that's where these Matterport tours are great. The other thing that the other reason why we highly recommend Matterport tours to real estate agents is the prospective buyers that are really, really interested in a property. our statistics show that they will come back and look at the pictures various times, but the Matterport tours they will look at even more. And those are the really serious buyers. So what you're doing is you're adding a tool or a weapon, I guess, to your arsenal of marketing weapons that you can use to secure the listing and to pick up prospective buyers.
Awesome. No, that's right on, David. Again, I mean, whether it is, you know, saving your time from showing the home many times, or maybe you have a prospective buyer that lives in another country. Obviously, they're not going to fly all the way out here to take a look at the home, just to look at this home, but a great way to still show a home. I guess I should have picked a better room. We can find a better room. You can literally, you can imagine, you can look up and see even the little fire extinguishers in the ceiling. Just imagine that, whether you have big vaulted ceilings or we've done some really cool cabin-looking homes where they have really cool trusses in the ceilings, lots of cool artwork. But one of the things, again, we're going to kind of touch into some of these features here. I'm going to briefly touch on some of these features within the demo, but then there are a lot of add-on features that Dave will talk about here in a second. But as we kind of blow up, the best way I can think of this is a Barbie house, really. You kind of blow up and you can kind of see, you can spin the house around. This can be a little confusing at first, for sure. But when we pull this out here, you can literally break it down and say, oh, cool, there's different floors. Let's look at floor number 1. Boom. And now this is just floor number 1. Again, we can see the highlight of the stairs there as well that Dave talked about. Spin this around, you can see just the layout of the first floor. And obviously we can continue on. The second floor just shows us a highlight of the second floor. And then we'll go to the third floor just for fun here. It's the last one. Again, you can spin this around, you can move around it, and you can even see where it sits with the rest of the home and all that gray area down there. Super cool. So another one of the cool features here, let's go to floor 2. I think it's the biggest one. We can hit floor plan. This blows up here, and there's actually, you can zoom in here, you can zoom out. There's actually a really cool add-on feature, again, that Dave will talk about here in just a second. You'll definitely want to see that helps label some of these rooms. Because of course you're looking at this right now and you're like, well, what the heck are all these rooms? And so that's why we have the labels to help distinguish those. But one of the cool things, I want to go back to floor number 3 here. Let's do all of them. That's the best way to show this feature. So you come here, we're going to do dollhouse. You're in this big, massive mess of blah. You're trying to figure out what's going on here. But the cool thing is, like, you know what? I'm looking down here, you know, where we were on the second floor and the first floor. Where's the master bedroom? Oh, looks like it's up here. Let's just go ahead and click right in here. Boom, and you're right in the master bedroom. And like I mentioned before, you can see some of the cool detail in the ceiling. But again, that way you're not having to spend the time walking throughout the whole house if you don't want to. And again, to show some of the really cool detail out of the windows. I mean, of course you can do this with HDR photography, but there's no way your iPhone is going to capture this type of view out of these windows. You can imagine you're literally reading your book here, sipping your coffee, or you're laying in bed, whatever it is, and you literally have this view. How do you capture that except with some really great professional photography? Just really cool. So again, you're looking in here like, oh, this is a really nice bedroom. Oh, and then this is the best part of all. We go in here and you can literally walk in to the master closet. And obviously this is a very nice one. And again, this is why I pulled up this home to demonstrate. We have a lot of examples on our website. But this one was just a really, really nice home that Stacy let us come and do the Matterport for. Lots and lots of cool features about this home that we could go on and on about and show. What's even cool is this button here. You can actually click on this button and you can view it in virtual reality. So if you're on your phone and you pull this up on the web page, as you can probably see up here, you pull this up, you hit view in virtual reality, it'll go into a different mode. And you can put on a virtual reality headset and you can walk through the homes if you're there. Again, some of the technology that is coming forth with the technological advances is just so cool. And again, it's how can we use those to stay ahead of our competition? I promise you, and I talk to a lot of real estate agents daily, that a lot of making us a little busy here. I apologize. What I was saying is I promise you a lot of agents don't use this technology. And so again, we're talking about how do we sell our home faster and for more money. than the listing right above you and right below you on that half inch of screen with that massive database of inventory, it is the Matterport. People are going to come and look at this and be absolutely fascinated. Again, the idea that Dave talked about, you can come in here and look at the shower, spin around and get a cool look at this bathroom here. My bathroom doesn't have a couch in it. I don't know if yours does, but that's pretty cool. So, Dave, I'm going to pass this off to you to take a look at some of the add-on Matterport features that are really cool and really take this idea of the Matterport and really expand it and even make it much cooler. Tori, can we pass the presenter mode off to Dave? And Dave, can you show us some of those features and some of the benefits of those features?
Sure. Yeah, I'd be delighted.
Awesome. There you go. Dave, you should have control.
Wonderful. Hopefully you can see my screen here.
Yes.
And yeah, let me just add to what Austin had said just briefly about some of these up and coming technologies. One thing that's really fun about what we're seeing here is obviously these technologies are fun, but they're only as good as helping you put money in your pocket, right? Being able to land a prospective buyer or help you sell that listing even faster. And there's been a handful of questions that agents have asked us even in the recent past, and that is, is it worth picking up my own Matterport camera? If you do the research, you'll see that you can actually buy your own camera. And let me tell you, it's not rocket science. Can you do this on your own as a real estate agent? The answer is yes. The question is, are you going to do enough volume to make it worth your while? Now, if you're a high listing agent who's doing a lot of listings, and then potentially yes. But let me tell you, for every 1,000 square feet, it takes anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. The type of home that Austin just showed you was a home that took literally all day to scan. And that's where we come in. We're professional photographers. Let us do it. Your time is better spent at prospecting for new business, not sitting in a home and scanning a home for a whole entire day. So let me just throw that out to you. It's time is money, and we want to help complement your business and help you get more business. Let's talk about some of these add-on features that you may not be aware of, which are fantastic, by the way. So with our Matterport products, we actually have 7 different add-on features. These are all things that you can include in your Matterport tour at the time of order, but let me just quickly go over each one so you know what they are. Austin briefly talked about room labeling. Now, in that floor plan view, you have the option of going in and labeling each room. So when you're looking at that bird's eye view, and imagine you're a prospective buyer, they're not going to easily be able to identify a room. So you'll see right here with this screen capture that we did, you can easily see what room is what, and you could click on it and go right into that room. So now, do you have to do this with the standard Matterport that we offer? The answer is no, you don't. But if you're really wanting to make it easier for your sellers and any prospective buyers to be able to see what the property is and what the various rooms are, this is a great way of doing that. Now, here's another awesome feature right here, schematic floor plans. This is actually a newer feature that that Matterport has started to include. And this is fantastic if you're not quite sure about the square footage of a home and you're wanting to know about the square footage of a home. Now, I have to throw out a little caveat, and that is that this is the inside square footage. And depending on what state you live in, my experience has been that most square feet are measured by the outside of a property. Okay, so if I'm an appraiser, I would be measuring from the outside walls to get me the square footage. It's very important, especially if you're going to be adding these schematic floor plans to any type of flyer that you may print, that you put some type of disclaimer or disclosure that this is the inside square footage, not measured from the outside. But this is very convenient, especially if there's any prospective home buyer that's trying to determine whether or not their sectional will fit inside a living room. Okay, they'd be able to see the square feet and go in and take a look. So just some very awesome features that you can include with your Matterport. We also offer what are called highlight reels. So as you're going through the Matterport tour, like Austin was doing a minute ago, you can actually do a guided tour. You can tell us which rooms to highlight, and we can go in and we can highlight, in this case, this is a sitting room. You'll notice that the next little thumbnail picture right here is a dining room. And what it does is it guides them through the property. So just a fantastic feature here. For you tech-savvy agents out there who want to actually play with what are called OBJ files, and you want to be able to download the Matterport package itself and import it into a 3D rendering program, we now offer that as well. And then two of my very favorite features with Matterports are labeling. So this was a unique home where they featured cement flooring, so stained cement flooring, and they also had what was called a maple butcher block countertop. So the whole countertop in this particular property was made out of a maple butcher block. Very unique feature. Now, you wouldn't know that just by looking at it, but we have these little matter tags which allow you to highlight a feature, and all you have to do is hover over the matter tag and it will pop up with a little description of what type of feature you're trying to highlight. So, and then last of all, we are now allowing agents to have what's called collaborator access to every Matterport tour. So it is an add-on feature, but let me tell you briefly what this is and the benefits of it. As a collaborator, you can go in there and you can modify any feature inside the Matterport tour that you want to. Labeling matter tags or labeling features, all the stuff that we just went over, you'd be able to do. One of my favorite features is measurements. Okay, so say Austin mentioned that perhaps someone's interested in one of your listings but lives out of town or out of country, and they want to know how large a room is, or they want to know whether or not their favorite painting or picture will hang above above their king size bed. In this example you'll see right here, you can actually measure from corner to corner and see what the exact measurements are. You probably can't see this too well, but the measurement here is 12 feet 4 inches. And what's amazing is this is like very accurate and precise. You may be off by maybe half an inch or so, but if you need to, say you're doing a remodel job, or your client is a home builder or someone who likes to fix and flip homes and go into a property, and they want to know how large of an area there is to put in a backsplash in a kitchen, you can use this feature to go in. You don't have to hop in your car, run over to the house, pull out your measuring tape. This is one of those things where you can just come right into the measurement feature as a collaborator and just search. And for every person that orders a Matterport tour and orders the collaborator feature, we give you a little tutorial to show you how to go in there and actually measure a property. So just some fantastic features that are being offered with Matterport. Now, let me mention this. We get asked a lot about video versus Matterport, and this will be a good segue into the next section. And I know that Austin here in a moment is going to talk a little bit about video. We have kind of a love-hate relationship with video. At this point, we are moving more toward virtual reality. And the reason being is because we live in a convenience society. Prospective buyers, they want to get into a listing, they want to spend the amount of time they want to, and they want to get out. What's cool about a Matterport tour is it gives them the leverage to choose the amount of time that they want to spend in there versus video. One of the downsides to video is you are forced to watch a video. And studies have shown that most people have very short attention spans. If that video is over 30 seconds long, they're not going to watch it. And the other downside to video is how long it takes to edit. The turnaround time on most video production is usually about a week. So that's one reason why we adopted the Matterport technology, is because people want to have the leverage of seeing every aspect of a property at their pace, as opposed to a video where you're forced to go wherever the video takes you, if that makes sense. So now let me just wrap up my portion here by talking about high dynamic range photography. Okay, you've probably heard of high dynamic range. There's the newest televisions that are coming out are HDR televisions. In the world of photography, high dynamic range is basically a bracketed picture photograph. And what that means is when we go into a property and we photograph a property, we set up our equipment and we take 3 pictures at varying exposures. And then we combine those pictures into one picture that has just exceptional dynamic range. Here's a side-by-side example right here. You'll notice here's on the left you've got traditional photography. Still a picture that looks fantastic, but you'll notice that the windows are slightly blown out. You can't really see the details outside the windows. And you know, this is a room that doesn't have a lot of shadows, but over here you have a little bit of loss detail in the shadows here. If you contrast that to a high dynamic range photograph, you're getting fantastic details in the shadows. Like this side of the couch, you can see all the details in that couch right there. Outside the windows, you can see the blue skies. You can see the house across the street. We highly recommend that if you really want a listing to stand out, it's worth the upgrade for high dynamic range. And our pricing is phenomenal. It's just $2 more per picture to do an HDR photo. But that's kind of the direction that we're seeing photography going. With still images, you want to make sure that you can really have your pictures stand out. Now, traditional photography is great, don't get me wrong. And you know, if you've got a client that you're not trying to impress so much and you're really trying to get the bang for your buck, I highly recommend traditional photography. If you really need photography that stands out, I highly recommend going with the HDR option. And that's it for my portion of this segment. I'll pass the time back off to Austin.
Awesome, thanks, Dave. Hey, Troy, can I have? Awesome, thank you. She's already on top of it. She already knows what I'm trying to say. So
I got
awesome. Awesome. So I have to keep going back through the web page. Sorry, because every time I pull this presentation up, I can't see what Dave's showing, so I have to exit out of that screen and get back into here. So yeah, so Dave kind of touched on that. It was super awesome. Thanks for Dave for going into some of that. We know that a lot of people don't like statistics. So Dave and I tried to shy away from a lot of that. I know I dropped one a little earlier, but there's 2 really good ones that we like. Of course, I showed the one a little earlier. I think that one was from NBC, a study they did. These next 2 I'm going to show are from the Wall Street Journal and Realtor.com, I believe. So this one first here, of course, not sure where our numbers went, but this kind of seems silly, but the asking price per square foot, no joke, you get 30% more of an asking price with professional photography rather than not. I mean, it literally just comes down to the photos speak for themselves. They show the home. It builds more value, right? Again, we know in sales, people buy when their value exceeds the price, and that's when people close. And so if we can, with better photos, build more value, the price is willing to come up because they're still willing to buy that because there's a higher value. So this next one here, super awesome. So as you can literally see here, average days on the market. This one is done by the Wall Street Journal. Average market, of course, over a longer period of time, every different style home, every different market. Homes stay on the market for statistically about 125, 123 days is right about that mark here. With professional photography, the number is about 89 or 90. I believe the number is 89, but looks right about 90 in the middle here. We're literally talking about your home will sell a month faster So if you're breaking it down this way, again, that listing presentation where you're trying to lock down the listing is you tell the prospective seller, like, look, I'm going to use professional photography for you. That's one less mortgage payment you have to make. Let's do it, right? So just some super, super cool things that really help. And of course, we're done with statistics. I don't want to bore you too much, but I promise you there is that need for professional photography comes in with a higher quality, helps sell homes faster and for more money, because that's where people spend most of their time. So we kind of went through this already. QuickPicTours.com is where our Matterport services are. And then that was the example there I showed you of the Matterport we walked through. So again, Dave touched on this a little bit here. So we have everything. There's drone photos, there's drone videos now that are really cool. There's YouTube videos. Those have been around for a while. Again, the biggest thing to touch on these, like Dave already mentioned, is that the video is so constricting. You see what the viewer wants you to see. You can't walk around the couch. You can't go up and down the stairs. You can't see all those things like that we showed in the Matterport. And again, these are just some random pricings that we have found. We've seen it everywhere, of course, all over the map. And to be honest, you may have a buddy that flies a drone, your best friend, he may charge you $50 for a video. That's awesome. But in the market, we've seen anywhere from $250 to upwards of $900 for videos, for photos and videos. And of course, everywhere YouTube videos can be everywhere as well, from a couple $100s to be very expensive, of course. Those usually get a little more expensive as the home gets bigger. But Matterports with Quick Pic Tours. So we break this down again. We break this down by square footage, and it looks like I added an extra 0 on there. Excuse my typo. But up to different square feet, of course, we price that depending on how long it's going to take the photographer, our professional photographer that goes out there to do this home. $150 gets you this Matterport up to a 3,000 square foot home. So we assume most homes would fit under that parameter there. $150 gets you that awesome 3D Matterport tour. Just $150, that's it. Compared to what you guys may already be paying now. That's probably what's close to what you're paying for just still shot photography. So super affordable. Yeah.
Just to interject there, there is a little bit higher pricing for California just because of the travel and the traffic fees that we have to pay our photographers to get to a property. So just be aware of that.
Awesome. No, perfect, Dave. That's that's on my mind. So Dave's kind of a mind reader, and he knows exactly what I'm about to say before I say it. So awesome. Thank you, Dave. But yeah, again, here, so we're talking about every 500 square feet. Again, ignore the 0 for me. I apologize. Every 500 square feet, the home gets bigger. It's just another $25. Again, because Dave said that can take another 20 to 40 minutes to photograph a home. So currently, Quick Pic Tours, we service in California, all the major metropolitan areas in the following states: California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and Tennessee. And so these are our current markets where we currently are established and offer these services. We haven't even touched on, we do offer drone. We do offer, obviously, the HDR. We do offer still shot photos. We do offer twilight photography as well, obviously a very specific time of the day for the twilights when the sun's going down, and then the Matterports as well. We offer in all these states, and are definitely looking to expanding into other states, of course, where there's a big demand and we're willing to fill. So let me come out of this here. Awesome. So yeah, that's it. No, so Quick Pic Tours, we really just strive. Our name is Quick Pic Tours, really because we know that photography can take a while. The editing process can be long. We have got our system down with awesome professional photographers. When we go out, we know time is money. We absolutely know it. Go spend your time closing more prospective sellers, getting more leads. Let us come in, take the photos. We are fast. We're inexpensive. We do a great job, and we continue to help people all across the country to make sure that their photography needs are taken care of. And we really try to stay on top of that new upcoming technology, and Matterport is definitely the one that if you don't use it right now, you're going to want to use it because all your competitors are, at least the top producing agents. This is the new thing that is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of money. I think you kind of see the Matterports are just very, very cool.
All right. Do you guys want to go through questions now?
That'd be great. Yeah, I'd be willing to accept any questions.
Real quick, can you guys just talk about what areas you service at the moment?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can. This is Dave, and I'll just jump on that. So, our corporate office is actually out of Salt Lake City, Utah. We currently service most of the western states, and we're actually just knocking on the door of expanding to Texas, Georgia, Florida, and North Carolina. And so we're doing everything we can to open up into those areas. The current states that we do service are Utah, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, and California. We're also knocking on the door. Sorry, I neglected to mention too. We're knocking on the door of Washington State as well as Oregon. So part of it is the demand. We do get phone calls probably on a daily basis. Where people ask us, do you serve Chicago? And if we get enough requests for Chicago, it's probably a good indication that we need to consider going there. So, and we know with such a large company as Allison James is, we know that you guys are all over. If there's a demand, we will certainly fulfill that demand and try to get to that geography where you're located.
Perfect. Next question. It says, I would think that the walkthrough, meaning the Matterport tour, might give away a little bit more than the seller is comfortable with, since it shows everything, such as safes, alarm panels, kids' room location, windows, which may be easy to open. Do you guys get any pushback on that regard?
Certainly. What's interesting about Matterport, and this is one thing. I appreciate the question, whoever's asking it. It's obviously a security question, and you have to be sensitive to the needs of your client. And if you have somebody who's really security conscious, a Matterport tour may not be what you want to include with your marketing that you offer on your listings. So that's just something to keep in mind. But if your client is security conscious but loves the technology and wants it, but they want to remove portions of the home, that's one thing that people don't readily know, is that we can actually go in and we can remove parts of a home. So we can exclude parts of a home. There's a couple ways of doing that. Sometimes you'll have a home that has an unfinished basement. And the easiest way of doing that is that we just don't go scan that location of the home. And that's usually based on the details, the order details that we get from the real estate agent. However, one thing that is cool is if there's a specific room that perhaps we have scanned, we can go in after the tour, after the photo shoot, and we can go in there and we can remove it. So that is a feature that is available.
Okay, very cool. Speaking of the Matterport, does that also include pictures, or is that two separate services?
Great question. So for us in particular, for Quick Pic Tours, they are two separate services. However, when ordering, if you're on our website and you're ordering a Matterport, there is the option to add still photography. One of the benefits is we basically have 4 packages that we offer. We offer photo packages, just still photography, Matterport, twilight photography, which Austin touched on, and is usually done at dusk, just slightly after sunset, and then we have drone photography. Any add-on product, we take $30 off. So it's basically our bundle and save approach to business. So if you order Matterport and then you also add a photo package to that, we would take $30 off of the photo package.
Okay, perfect. We're going to go back real quick to how you guys indicated that California costs more. So what would be the cost for up to a 3,000 square foot in California? And maybe just to expand on that, how much extra is it? Do you have exact numbers on how much extra it is in California?
Sure. Yeah. Can you share the screen with me, and I'll actually just show them right on the website?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So on our website here, up in the menu bar, you'll see a link that says pricing, and you'll have a little drop-down option here. You can just click on California and then click Go. And one of the things that we had to do with California is, and we appreciate all the agents out there. Bless your hearts. It's traffic alone is a completely different animal, and so that's one of the things we had to work with our photographers. Is you know, if I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, which by the way, the traffic in Phoenix is getting pretty bad, but I can usually travel 3 miles in, you know, probably about 10-15 minutes. That same 3 mile distance in California could take me an hour. And so that's one of the things that we took into consideration. It's basically a pass along cost that we just pay our photographers more in California for the hassle of having to travel. But you'll be delighted to know that the cost is not much more. So our standard pricing in all the other states is $150 for Matterport, up to 3,000 square feet. In California, it's just $199. So you're basically about $50 more. What's really shocking, Tori, is that we have a lot of real estate agent clients in California who are still shocked with our price. They still think that $129 for 15 photos is super, super cheap. Keep in mind that that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to come in at a price point where, as an agent, you don't have to second guess about getting photos. We try to find that sweet spot where it just makes sense to pay the cost to get professional photography. So each of our costs are about $50 more for California, if that answers that question.
Okay. Let's see. This is kind of touching on it once again. I'm trying to stay kind of in a flow here, so we'll stay with prices. And if you already answered this, I apologize, but I just want to make sure everyone's questions are 100% answered. The
Sure.
San Diego MLS allows 24 pictures. So would that be $139 for the pictures and then $150 to $199 for the Matterport on a home under 3,000 square feet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it would. So, you know, and I know that every MLS system, as we enter new markets, we are learning that there are limitations to the number of photos that you can upload to the MLS. Be aware that we actually become an affiliate member with the MLS, or we attempt to. Not all MLSs allow a photography company to become an affiliate member, but most do. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to actually log into the MLS on your behalf and upload the pictures for you. We can't do it with every MLS system just because everyone is different. But there are some areas where that's a huge convenience. I've been told by real estate agents that they can spend easily up to an hour downloading pictures, uploading them to the MLS, organizing them, and by the time they're done, they've spent a whole bunch of time. We just charge $10 more on our photo packages to upload to the MLS if that's something that you want us to do. For those MLSs that do have a restriction, even though our standard package for so the agent who asked the question about the 24 pictures for that particular MLS, we would basically modify our package and give you a small savings for any package that is less than what the MLS requires, if that makes sense. So we would probably knock a couple of dollars off of our $139 price for the particular MLS that the agent mentioned. As far as the Matterport is concerned, yes, you're talking two separate prices. Remember that you do get a $30 savings. So if I have a 3,000 square foot home that's in California, it would cost $199 to do the Matterport tour. You'd get $30 off of the 25 photo package here, so it'd be $109. And the Matterport tour, usually the way that we connect the Matterport tour to the MLS is most MLS systems have what's called a virtual tour link, and we will either connect directly to the Matterport tour, or we also have available for just $5 extra per order the ability to create a web page for you where we create a virtual tour for you that connects to the MLS.
Perfect.
Tori, can I throw something in with that as well?
Yeah.
Awesome. So one thing, of course, that we understand as well is, especially with creative arts, and of course, photography definitely falls in that regard as well as a creative art. We understand that everyone has a slightly different taste, we'll say. And so obviously it's a really good thing is, the MLS system only requires 24 photos. That's great. Order 30 photos, or you can order the 25. And then that way you're like, you know what? I like these best 24, whatever it is. That way that kind of gives the agent a little bit of power. Of course, we're going to deliver awesome photos that we believe are the best photos to help show the home. But of course, we know that there's never perfection. And if there's one photo the agent really just like, I don't understand, or I don't agree with this one, that's awesome because you have 25. Or you ordered 30 and you have a few extra. So that's one of the greater things to talk about as well, is that if you only need 24, then go ahead and buy the 30 photo package, because then you have a few extra if you need to, or if you feel like you need to change it up, there's always a few extra there. So I mean, Dave touches on it. We can definitely, we're customizable. We'll make it fit whatever the agent needs, but definitely something that still works with the standardized packages, just to give you a little bit of flexibility, I guess. So.
Perfect.
Absolutely, I love that. And I can show you this real fast. Let me pull over to my screen, Tori, just a picture of that. Not a picture, I apologize. An example of, this is a still, an example of our still photography virtual tour that we offer. Not all agents want this. Sometimes they subscribe to programs like agentmarketing.com where it generates a virtual tour for them. We are glad to build a web page for you. And like I mentioned, that's just an add-on feature that we provide. And this is fantastic to show the home. You can click through and look at the pictures very quickly. But that virtual tour feature is something that we can connect very easily to most MLS systems.
Okay. Speaking of the MLS, and I'm not sure if this is something you can answer, how can you identify if certain MLSs are ones that allow you to load pictures? Do you guys have that ability?
Yeah, we usually, so when we enter a new market, and California, speaking to that specifically, I look at the Phoenix market, for example, and there's, to my knowledge, there's basically just one major MLS. It's called the Flex MLS. But California has over 54 MLS systems. We've learned this the hard way. So what we end up doing as a photography company is we just have to call each MLS system individually and say, hey, we're a real estate photography company. Do you have an affiliate program? And some do, some don't. So the agent could always call us and just say, hey, I'm a part of this MLS system. Are you guys an affiliate member? Can you upload pictures on my behalf? If we don't know the answer, we'll find out pretty quickly.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit more of your monthly subscription. So how does the monthly subscription fee of $50 play into the reduced fee for pictures and the Matterport? And on top of that, are the add-on services included?
Ooh, great question. So the idea behind a subscription plan, and the reason why we did it, is was for high producing listing agents. There's a reality in business. No matter what business you're in, there's the economies of scale, and if we can get and we have a handful of listing agents who do a lot of volume. Some of our top listing agents will send us anywhere from 20 to 25 photo shoots in a month. That's a lot of listings. If you're doing 25 listings in a month, hats off to you. You're a top producing agent. And so what we do is we offer them a subscription plan where we have our hard costs, where we have our hard editing costs and our hard photographer costs, where we've got to pay both our photographers and our editors. We found a sweet spot where if you're in California and you're willing to pay $50 a month, what we'll do is we'll drop our standard pricing down $50. So you can get the 15 photo package for $79. And if you end up living elsewhere, our subscription's $25 a month. So I feel bad saying that because sometimes it feels like we're giving the Californians the raw end of the deal. Just please know there are just greater costs in California. That's just how things have shook out. But yeah, the subscription really it benefits the high producing listing agents.
Okay.
Oh, and then you asked about add-on features. I apologize. So no, add-on features would still cost extra. But what we try to do, in fact, let me scroll down here. We try to keep those add-on features really inexpensive, like $10 for a rush order shoot, which, by the way, Tori, let me mention that. The reason why we're called Quick Pic Tours is we can usually have your pictures back in 24 hours from the day of the shoot.
Okay.
We have a 48-hour guarantee, but we really try to give you a quick turnaround. And that's important because sometimes you've got a client who's really anxious. They want that listing up there. And what good is a listing if it doesn't have pictures? So, but back to the agent's question, yeah, our add-on products, they're a nominal cost, just very minimal cost. So we try to keep those low.
Okay. And you had said the turnaround time, you have a 48-hour for pictures. Can you talk about turnaround time for Matterport?
Same amount of time.
Okay.
Yep.
And does that,
like I said,
that depend on the square footage of the house at all?
No, not so much. Not so much. So Matterport's interesting in that there is a little bit more of a rendering time, to use more of a technical term, but it's not, we're not talking hours. Usually we can deliver that Matterport tour just like still photography within 24 hours. Once again, we have a 48-hour guarantee, but most of our agent clients are pretty pleased in that from the day of the shoot, whether or not it's Matterport or still photography, they'll get their pictures or their tour back within 24 hours.
Perfect. Last question about pricing. Do you have any pricing for acreage? Or do you only price by square foot? How does that work?
I wonder if the question is relating to, is it related to drone? Usually we sometimes price our drone photography a little bit higher if it's a large parcel of land, something that's over 10 acres. And they want more than the standard 7 photos that come with the drone photography. If it's the still photography package that they're talking about, that's for interior pictures, no, we just do it off of. It really doesn't matter about the size of the lot. Say the size of the lot is larger. Say you're on a half-acre lot or perhaps a full-acre lot. Maybe there's a horse property and you've got a barn or a stable that you're wanting to highlight. No, we just recommend in that situation, say it's a 3,000 square foot home on an acre lot, we may recommend that you go up to 30 pictures just so that we can take more pictures of the exterior. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you. And you guys had talked about stats earlier. Is there anything saying, do you have any stats based on the ideal number of pictures that a buyer will want to see or what they search through before they just kind of maybe stop looking? What's your recommendation on that?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a good question for Austin. Austin, do you have anything on stats on that?
I don't know. I could definitely do some research on that. I don't have anything off the top of my head that rings a bell for you, Tori, so I apologize on that.
That's okay.
The one thing that does ring a bell and does come to mind, however, is the last Tuesday broadcast, or last Wednesday, sorry. It was Tuesday broadcast with you, right? Yeah, so the last Tuesday broadcast we did with you, Tori, we talked about the ordering of your photos and why that matters. And there's definitely a flow through a home. And we talk about when we put, if you ask us to put your photos on the MLS or organize the virtual tour, you'll oftentimes see that we start with the front elevation shots. And again, when Dave showed that virtual tour, you saw the front photos were the first things. We do the front elevation, and then we show the major points of a home. So again, what is a buyer looking for? They're looking to see what the front looks of the house, the front of the house looks like. They want to see the kitchen, the dining room, the family room, the master bedroom, the master bathroom. And those are like the main points. So definitely, you want to have those photos for sure. And of course, the answer depends on whether or not, maybe you have a massive master bedroom and you have a reading room in there and then a walk-in closet. Obviously, those photos are going to add up. So it's hard to say the exact number of photos, but those are the areas you definitely have to capture: the front elevation, the kitchen, the dining room, the bathroom, the living room, and the master suite. And then, of course, we kind of flow through the home, through other bedrooms, closets, things like that. We systematically flow through a home so the prospective buyer or viewer can map the home out in their mind, again, giving that ownership so they can visualize and see the home.
Mm-hmm.
And then the end of the home, as Dave, you're kind of seeing here, as Dave is showing, the last few photos of the home are definitely going to be the back elevation or the backyard. And of course, he's showing this house that is very cool, where we would definitely recommend twilight and drone photos for that type of home. But hopefully that answers the question. There's not like a preferred number, but you definitely want to capture the front of the house, kitchen, the kitchen, dining room, living room, the master suite, in the back of the house for sure.
Okay, great answer. And last question, actually, and you guys may have insight on this because you do travel around different places and deal with different sellers and agents. Do you have any advice on how to deal with a seller who still needs to declutter for good photographic purposes?
Ooh, yeah, God, that's a tough one. It's yeah, I think one of the best selling tools, especially for a seller who hopefully can think through things logically. And I know in the real estate industry, we often joke around and say that buyers make decisions, buyers and sellers make decisions emotionally, and then they justify it logically. I think that's true with many buying and selling decisions, and sometimes one of the best tools, in my opinion, is sit down with that prospective seller and pull up comparable properties that that are near that seller's home, and go through the pictures. Even before you get the listing, go through and just show them and say, hey, look. Or better yet, rather than active listings, look at the sold listings, and the ones that have sold for a higher price probably are ones that are decluttered or they're nicely kept. And sometimes I think that's where the visual of photography can really, really help, as you can sit down with that particular seller and say, hey, look at this home. This sold only a half a mile away from your home, and it sold for this much. And look at the condition that it's in. It's decluttered, it's nicely kept, it's nicely updated. That's the encouragement that I would make to an agent. Now, another approach to that would be, you could take pictures in its decluttered state and show them kind of a side-by-side comparison. I certainly wouldn't want you to waste the money of taking pictures of a home that's decluttered, or not decluttered, but that's in a cluttered state, and then do that and then have to repay for pictures. I think the better approach is just show them some of the sold listings and really try to hit home that they need to do some overhauling on their home to get it sold.
Perfect. That's great advice. So that's it for the questions. If you guys have any last minute points, I think we really hit everything. We had a lot of great questions, which is amazing. But if you guys have anything just last minute to add, feel free.
I'll add one thing, and then I'd love to hear from Austin. My only concluding thoughts would be that our goal is to come up with products and services that real estate agents need to help them sell their homes faster and really highlight their homes. So please know that we're flexible and we're open to ideas. And so by all means, if you've got any questions, reach out to us. We'd love to chat with you and talk with you. We'd like to hear your, kind of some of your needs and wants, and figure out what we can do to help you sell your listings better.
That's awesome. And again, I said this earlier, Dave's kind of a mind reader. He literally just almost took words out of my mouth, so I'll keep saying the same sentences. I talk to a lot of agents on the phone all the time. Like, well, can you pull up can you pull up my house, this house I'm trying to sell on Google, and can you take a look at it for me? Like, what do you think I should do? And by all means, I mean, we like to consider ourselves the experts. And I'm like, you know what? You have a really awesome backyard. Let's do a twilight shoot to really capture that. Or you have a beautiful view. Or you know what? You have a lot of land. There's a golf course in the back like Dave's showing here. Let's do a drone shot for you. You know, your home is really unique. Let's go ahead and do a Matterport, whatever it is. We're definitely there to make sure, because we want to help you sell that listing. And we, of course, want to be your partner. I don't want to say partner in crime for that, but partner in crime, we want to be your aid to make sure you sell your home as fast as possible so you can help your clients and then move on to the next family that you need to take care of and the next home that you need to sell. We're very good at what we do. Again, just delivering professional quality at a quick turnaround at a very affordable, inexpensive price to just solve a basic issue. I have a home, I need photos. Do I dare go take my iPhone, or do I hire someone really expensive? Nope. Quick Pic Tours will do it really quick for you, and we'll do it very affordably, just to solve this pain point, get you guys taken care of. And we're seriously here to help sell homes faster. So.
Perfect. Well, those were great concluding thoughts. Thank you everyone for joining us. And of course, a huge thank you to Austin and Dave from Quick Pic Tours for hosting this month's webinar and giving us a great presentation and even spending a little extra time to make sure all our questions were answered. So I hope you both have a great day. And once again, thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope you all have a great day as well. And we hope to see you next month. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Tori.
Thank you. Thank you.